Welcome back. You're still learning how to code at home, and here comes our second learning session. Of course, we're here at our favorite website again, which is scratch.mit.edu, and I'm going to sign in with my account. Once we are signed in, you want to press this Create button up in the top left, and we are going to create a brand new program. So today our mission is to make our programs look a little fancier. Last time we taught our sprites how to move. Today we're going to adjust how they look. So of course, when we start, we always end up with this cat, which is amazing. I would like somebody besides the cat. So I'm going to come down here to the very bottom, and I'm going to hit the new sprite button, which looks like a cat also. When I press that button, this shows me all the sprites that are available to me, and Scratch has tons of different options. Now, as you mouse over, once you hold your mouse over certain ones, you can see the different animation options. So some of them have lots of animation options, some of them don't have any. So for today, what we're going to do, I would love for you to pick one that has lots of animation options. So not like the bananas. I think a really good one would be any of the ones that say dance. Those would be good. I'm gonna pick Champ 99 right here. So here's Champ 99. I can move him around on my stage. Now I have two sprites in my program. I have Champ 99 selected down here. I'm in his brain here, which is totally empty. He has nothing in his brain. And last time we spent our entire time working on our sprites' brains. Today, I want to think about how they look and how we can change their looks. So if you take a look up here in the top left, you have these different tabs, and we spent the entire time with code, which is their brain last time. But if I click on costumes, then Champ 99 here has lots of different ways that he could look, or lots of different costumes he can put on. And so they call them costumes just because, just like when you put on your Halloween costume and go ask for candy, just because you're wearing a mask doesn't really mean you're a different person. So when you dressed up as Spider-Man last year for Halloween, that didn't mean you really were Spider-Man, right? You were still you just were dressed as Spider-Man. So he is still Champ 99, but he can have lots of different looks that he can change between. So I'm going to click back on that top one, and I'm going to say I want you to look like that. Now you'll notice that each one of these costumes also has a special name. Champ 99A, B, C. I'll come back here to his code, and then the really interesting thing is I can write code in his brain that will tell him what I want him to look like. Let's go to events, and I love this when a certain key is pressed. We used that a little bit last time. Last time we used the arrow keys. This time let's spice it up and let's use some letters. So I'll say when somebody presses A, and of course we're in his brain. Now I want to go to the looks option here, the purple one. And you'll notice about halfway down there are two different blocks that have to do with his costumes or his looks. And so I'm going to grab this one right here, switch to costume, and then you can pick whatever costume it is you want it to be. So right now it's on costume G. That works. So when somebody presses A, he should switch to costume G. Let's go test that out. So I'm going to press green flag to start my program. Of course, nothing's happening because I didn't tell him to do anything when I press green flag. He's waiting for me to press A. So here I come. Boom. Look at that. So he heard me press A. He did the piece of instruction that I gave him. Now the only sad thing here is if I press A again and again and again, now this is really boring because I'm just telling him to do the same thing he's already doing. I'm saying, okay, look like that again, look like that again, and that's boring. So actually I'm going to show you a shortcut. Watch this. Right here, if I right click with my mouse, one of my options is duplicate. So watch how cool this is. I can then just change my mind. Okay, when B is pressed, I want you to go to a different costume. And so now I can press A, I can press B, I can press A, I can press B, and he responds. Now I at least have two different options. So take a second, pause the video, get at least 3 or 4 different options out there, different keys that will make him switch to different costumes. Okay, so welcome back. You've got him programmed to dance however you want him to, different keys, A, B, C, D. I think I just use A, B, C, D. So now you can press different buttons and make him do whatever dance you want. So now you can kind of control what's going on. So you can cause him to dance. Amazing. Let's look at one other thing that will be really neat. So there's his dancing ability, but if you go look at the purple looks tab here, now we used this switch costume, which was really cool, but then there's this amazing one right here called next costume. And so that way I don't have to tell him exactly what costume to go to. I just say, go to the next one on your list. Just whatever's coming up next, do that look. And that is handy because I can use that in a loop. So let's go to events and we'll actually use this one as when space is pressed. So first of all, if I put that in there and then I just hit run, I can at least press space repeatedly. So I press space, 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 right? That's pretty handy. He just kind of moves to whatever is coming next, and that is beautiful. But I think it's even better if when we go to control, if I'm too lazy to press space that many times, I can cheat and write a program that acts like I press space more than once. So I'm going to grab this repeat block. And remember, repeat is the one that looks like a hungry dinosaur. So if I pick up this next costume and I get it just right, then that dinosaur will kind of eat it and I can connect it back. And so now when I press space, he's going to do next costume 10 times in a row. Now this is going to look really funny. You ready? I'm going to press go. I press space. So that's a little intense, but that's all right. So what I would say is we're going to cheat, and still in the orange controls, if you go down, no, I lied. If you go up to the top of control, there's a block called wait. Now, here's the interesting thing. I also want this block to be in the dinosaur's mouth because I want the next costume and wait both to happen 10 times. So he'll change his pose and wait a second before he changes his pose and waits a second again. So now if I press space, it's a little less intense, but you can play with that wait time however you like. I might even put something like 0.25 so you can make it a small wait time to adjust his dance. And if you want to get extra fancy, let's go over to the sound, which is kind of the purple-ish pink. I don't know what color that is. Then we could say, I would like for him to, now I don't want the first one is play the sound until it's totally done. I want him to just to start the sound, and then I'm going to go put that right here. Now let's think about what that means. When I press space, he begins playing his sound, and then he goes into his dance moves. So here we go. Amazing. So, but think about what's going on. Make sure you get this start sound in the correct spot. Notice I did not feed that to the dinosaur here, because if I put that in there, that means he's going to start the sound 10 times. He'll start the sound, change costume, wait a little bit, start it again, and it's going to sound really crazy like this. Right? He can't finish playing a sound because he's too busy starting the sound over and over again. So just be really careful. Computer programming is all about the sequence of events and the order you put them in. Also notice I put that starting the sound before the loop because I don't want him to do his dance 10 times before he starts the sound. So this way he would do his dance, only start that song afterwards. So you gotta be really careful where you put everything. Your computer's very literal and does everything in the sequence that you tell him. Okay, let's get crazy. So we've got old Champ 99 dancing. It's awesome. Let's work on our cat over here. So here comes our cat. I can click on the cat down here in the bottom to get into his empty brain, which is kind of sad. But let's play with the cat just a little bit. Let's get him. I'm going to show you a little trick. We will also have the cat respond to the space. So when we press space, Champ hears that and starts to dance, and now we're going to have the cat also hear the space, and let's have him just kind of walk away. So I'm going to do my favorite repeat block, and let's go do some motion. So kind of like we did in our last video, I want him to move just a little bit. I'm also going to give him a next costume and a weight so that he doesn't look like he's running too fast. So he will move a little bit, change his stance, and then wait, and then he'll just do that again. So if I hit run, press space, there he goes. Okay, whew. Now I'm gonna take off Champ's music because that's annoying me. Sorry, Champ. Come back to, now I'm gonna hop back in the cat's brain. The only thing is the cat keeps walking away, and so I want him to come back to start again. So watch this trick. I will grab the motion block and I will tell him to go to the spot that he's standing right now, and I want him to do that every time the green flag is clicked. So anytime I click the green flag, the cat will come back to where he started. Green flag, he comes back, I press space, he walks away. Awesome. One other trick I'm going to show you, if you want to make this look a little more interactive, like they're kind of responding to each other, I'm going to use this little trick where I will make the cat wait 3 seconds before he says. So now when the space is pressed, he's going to wait, then he's going to talk, and then he's going to walk away. So here it comes. I press space. Champ immediately dances. After a few seconds, then the cat says bye and walks away. Okay, now we have our sprites or our characters programmed, and they're changing the way they look, they're changing where they stand. That's beautiful. I want to do one more thing, and I want to investigate the actual stage. So if you'll notice back here down in the very bottom, it starts talking about the stage, and the stage is literally almost like they're having a play. It's where they're standing. Where they're standing, you'll notice is really boring because it is just blank. But so instead of clicking on the sprite or this sprite, I'm going to come click on the stage, and you'll notice a few things changed. I still have the brain of the stage, and it doesn't have a person up here because it's actually the brain of the whole world. And you'll notice up here in the very top left, instead of saying costumes, it says backdrops. So a backdrop really is just a costume for the stage, for the world itself, for where they're standing. So you'll notice that the only backdrop that we have right now is just blank. So it's very similar to adding a new costume or to having multiple costumes. I'm going to, down here in the bottom left, add a backdrop, and you can pick whatever backdrop you want. Boom. I'm also going to, this first backdrop, the boring one, see how I can switch between them. I'm going to use the trash can to trash the boring backdrop because that was lame. Let's get creative. Let's add a few more backdrops. You pick whichever backdrops you want, whichever ones seem cool to you. Now, that is beautiful. And let's do this. Let's have the cat, when he walks away, I'm going to have the cat boss around the backdrop. So if we come down here to the sprites, I will click on the cat. I don't want to deal with his costumes. I want to deal with his brain. And what I would love to do is when I go to looks, you will notice that you have the same kind of options with backdrops. So again, the backdrop is the whole world behind you. I'm just going to say, after he's done walking away, then I want to switch to whatever backdrop comes next. So now it's going to look a little more exciting. I press space, triggers the dance, cat is waiting, cat says bye, cat walks away, and when he's done walking, voila. And then I can play the program again. Hit space, I get the same type of reaction, but this time it's going to move on. When he gets done walking, it'll move on to the next backdrop. So this way you can really tell a story. You can have them traveling. They can be wherever you want. This again is what I love about Scratch. You can create anything that you want in Scratch. So congratulations, you finished your second programming lesson. You're on your way to being a master coder. I'll see you in the next video.